Hey, everyone. Welcome to our second quarter. Happy April 2024. Therapists Deserve Abundance newsletter. So, my name is Dr. TK, and what we are going to do in this particular live stream newsletter is highlight therapists all over the country that are glowing up their business, whether it be solo practice, streams of income like digital products, mental health expansion, and group practice. And we're also going to let you know what we have coming up in the second quarter. And so, without further ado, let me go ahead and share my screen and get straight into it because I'm super excited for this. All right. All right. So, we are in officially the second quarter of the year. Today is April 2nd. And the last time that we did this for March, the students were really excited. And what it did, which was our goal in terms of myself and the team, is to instill excitement into people who, yes, we featured, but also people went over to the online communities for different programs and they were giving, applause to those people that were highlighted, but also seeing something that they would like to see in their business in terms of results. And so my hope is that we won't just highlight students, but also inspire other clinicians in our programs to go after their goals. Okay. So let's go ahead and start sharing. All right. So, our therapists deserve abundance vision. My goal when I first started my company is to reach and teach at minimum of 1,000 therapists across the globe every single year. We have definitely surpassed that goal every single year from YouTube content, social media lives, podcast downloads, live events, coaching programs, and also a mix of masterclasses, boot camps, and continuing educational workshops that I do throughout each year. And so our goal is specifically to help therapists design not just a epic and abundant business, but also a epic and abundant lifestyle. And we believe over here in Branding for Abundance, that's the name of our company, that therapists can have the best of both worlds. You should never have to choose. Okay. So what we're going to highlight in this newsletter is therapists who win in business. We're going to highlight solo private practice owners, abundant digital creators, and also those who are either working on scaling a group practice, and then also those who have taken their gifts in a solo practice and now they want to take it out into the community. So they're doing a lot of mental health expansion. Okay. Then I will highlight the podcast episodes and or workshops that dropped over the last month because this is a month-to-month newsletter. So we're highlighting all of the things that came out in the month of March. And then of course, I will let you know how to take advantage of any type of resources and upcoming events that we have coming up. All right. So let's start with the Dope Therapist Academy. The Dope Therapist Academy is our signature program where we teach therapists either how to start a private practice from scratch, building a profitable operating system. And then we also help existing private practice owners wake up their private practice because sometimes we're treating our private practice like a side hustle, or we have that employee mindset and we just put it into our business. So we first want to feature Miss Ashley Nicole in the Dope Therapist Academy. So our team went and pulled verbatim what our students are saying according to their accountability reports, some of our online community posts when we ask them to share their wins and or sometimes when they share live on a Zoom call. So Miss Ashley, she said, "Hey, DTA community, I just wanted to share a huge barrier that I just broke through in my business." We love breakthroughs. Okay. Delegation has been a difficult concept for me to accept and implement as I tend to think I can do that by myself to save money. I know she's not alone, right? Well, I finally hired an accountant and tax professional to help manage my business finances. Thank you for the education and encouragement in making this very important step in my business. Listen, for our business to grow, we have to take money seriously. We have to make sure that if we don't want to do it and we're not good at doing it, that we get that off my plate, off our plate, and that we put it on the plate of someone who actually enjoys bookkeeping, who enjoys doing taxes, and more importantly, who enjoys providing you with a throughout the year report so that you don't have to wait until tax season to find out how you did last year, right? So congratulations, Miss Ashley. Again, if you all are in DTA and you're watching this, go and tag her or find her. And if you can't find her, because sometimes Facebook names is not the same, then say, hey, Ashley Nicole, you got highlighted. If you're not here live today, you were highlighted in the March 2024 newsletter featured in this month's feature. All right. Next is Tanisha. So she is also in the DTA, Dope Therapist Academy private practice program. And she spoke on being able to craft her niche statement and her framework. So let me just give a little background to that. Okay. So niche statement is vitally important as we talk about what type of clients we want to attract. Then once you identify that ideal client and how you want to show up for them, in front of them, in the marketplace, then we teach them how to create their own theoretical orientation, because the goal would be that now you're magnetically drawing clients in that fit within where they want to go in their mental health treatment, right? So she said, I finally completed my niche statement and framework. I say finally because I had to watch the replay 3 times where one of our support coaches, Melissa, taught on developing your framework. Then I watched several framework replays from y'all, the Q&A vaults. This brings like joy to my soul, because what we do is we tend to go over different parts of our framework in our coaching program over and over again, because these therapists are building a very strong, profitable operating system. Operating system does not sound attractive. An online course, I know nobody wants one. But at the end of the day, if we have the problem, which is I want my time back, I want to earn more money, I only want to see my ideal clients, I don't want to go back to a 9-to-5 job, I want to be able to dictate what my schedule looks like, I want to be able to spend time with my family. If those are all the things that you want or that you desire or that are your pain points, there is a missing something right here to then get you to more time, flexible schedule, making unlimited amounts of money based on your desires, right? And that middle piece is what a lot of entrepreneurs try to skip over, which is the operating system. What are the things that are running in the background that can help you delegate tasks to other people or be ran automatically while you remove yourself from the business, right? So I love that our students are being able to utilize the resources, not just from the live calls that they get access to, but also being able to see the richness in the Q&A vault that they get access to, because it's like a whole nother program that they pretty much get access to. So she also said, I also completed my core values and the vision plan, which is what we do in the very beginning of their program, to set the foundation for a good business. And she said, this was all challenging for me, but I was super motivated, right? I'm super excited to be moving forward on building a private practice, whereas before I was very nervous and almost didn't join DTA due to my own fear of stepping out on my own. Let's go. Now, does this sound familiar? Does this sound like some place where maybe you are if you are not in the academy? A lot of therapists, a lot of entrepreneurs or to-be entrepreneurs have really had that last statement over and over again. And what ends up happening is you see something that can help solve your problem, but really it's you standing in the way of actually solving the problem because the resource is staring at you right in your face. So congratulations, Tanisha, on your wins thus far in the DTA program, and we cannot wait to hear more. So again, if you are in DTA, go and show her some love, write down her name and say, hey girl, you were highlighted, and let her know what you liked about her win and maybe how her win motivated you to do something in your business, right? So now let's move on to therapists who scale. So we had a program that launched 2 times last year, and it was from only students who were in the academy, the DTA program. These students had to know what their vision was for their business, who their ideal client was. They had to have already had built out some level of some systems in their business. They knew what their niche was, and they were just starting to tap into delegation. And we allowed them to start learning how to move from the one-to-one mindset to the one-to-many. So we had the open doors 2 times. And one of our stellar students, because they're in a year cohort together, is Asri, right? So she stated that her wins were as follows: consistent with showing up on social media and her presence there. She had an interested client reach out to her because that person saw her show up online, specifically on Instagram. She gained 1 new private pay client because for her, she had already carried a full caseload She does private pay at her desired rate, which is an awesome rate. I might say so myself. And she was like, no, I only want a private pay client to fill that spot. And she got it. Right. She said, I also learned that stepping out of my comfort zone with my social media was scarier. However, the consistency that helped me make it fun, which became more enjoyable. Now, one thing that I do want to highlight, because we know the students who speak up, we know them very intimately because they speak up during our coaching calls. So one thing that I will say about Asri, and she's a DTA alumni program, but she's also in the Scale Academy. So y'all give her some love in both programs. But one of the things that I do love about her is that she's not shy to talk about where she is, where she wants to go, and also allow herself to be vulnerable with what is standing in the way of getting there. And I'm highlighting that because for those of you who came to our conference in Vegas last year, she stood up and became vulnerable in front of 50 people. I'm not going to talk about what we talked about there. What goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? But nevertheless, she poured out what she had been holding on to, even sometimes in our coaching calls. And everybody in that room poured into her, whether it was getting the mic, whether it was going over to her, letting her know, more importantly, that she was not alone in the stage that she was in with expanding her business, being a mom, and so many other things. So I'm sharing that because sometimes what is also preventing us from moving to that next level in our business, whether it is solo practice or additional streams of income, is again, we have moved past, let's just say, the block of getting help in our solo private practice, but now we have to become another version, a higher level of ourselves to then get help at another level. Okay, the game don't change. Just like we go to grad school, you have to go to school to get the doctorate degree or the master's degree. Then you have to get help to pass a licensing exam, right? So the more you want to climb up, the more you may need some support. So I definitely want to say kudos to her and congratulations to Asri for all the wins and also just a high level of transparency that I admire, right? Especially being a student in a lot of our programs, okay? Also in our Therapist Scale Academy, we have Miss Teresa, right? So she's also an alumni of DTA. Now, when she came in DTA, because we have this happen about every 2 to 3 cohorts of our academy, is that we from time to time will attract existing group practice owners that do an assessment per our boot camp experience. And they may realize that they need to go back a little bit, like slow down and speed up and go over their system so that their group practice can like grow faster, right? So sometimes we open up group practices and they just lack some of the things to help it grow. So she was one of those clinicians, and get this, she completed the DTA portal in like less than 8 weeks. It can be done, but keep in mind, she had already had a running group practice. I did want to say that for like our solo private practice owners. Okay. So then she immediately, within like 4 months, graduated into that Scale Academy. So she said she decided to part ways with a service provider because she was collaborating, with someone to connect with a better fit for business. She got 13 new client referrals for her new therapist that she has in her group practice. Because in that program, we talk about higher level delegation and honestly, a lot of masterminding, not course material in that program. It's not go to the portal and watch all these lessons. It is what issues are coming up in your business as a leader and as a CEO. Like the expectation is that you already got the systems because you're in this program. Yes, we build and talk about higher level systems, but you should have the foundation already, right? So they had to apply to get into that program and be approved. So she connected with an HR consultant about creating an employee handbook for her group practice and structure of the company. She got a message about speaking on a podcast, so featuring her and what she would like to talk about on somebody else's platform, which is great. She reconnected with a cleaner, practicing self-care, boundaries, knowing her limits. That is one thing that has come up a lot, specifically in our Scale Academy, because what those clinicians start to recognize is the more money you make, the higher you go up in your business, and honestly, the less you work, like over time, you start to realize over time how much you really need to let go in order to have like that transformation, that outcome you desire, which also means that you have to learn how to say no. You have to learn how to have boundaries, whether it be with clients who want to see you, but you may want to say, like Teresa, I don't want to take on any new clients. I only want to fill my clinician's caseload at that point. right? So you have to have very specific boundaries as well. And then lastly, she said she paid for training for her clinicians to do the type of therapy that clients are seeking in her community. That is by far epic. Like fire, right? When we are talking about paying it forward and not just hiring people because you want another stream of income, but really pouring into the next level of clinicians that are coming up in this world. To me, that is key in terms of being integral to what we went to school for. So kudos for Teresa. Again, she's in DTA as an alumni, and she's also in the Scale Academy. So go find her. She is listed under her name, and go show her some love, okay, because she's in our Scale Academy. Now, the last program, right? I love it. This is my membership community, Abundant Digital Creators. And may I say, Miss Whitehead got a fire picture. Hello. And so my team went and grabbed this picture. I said, well, come on, pose. And so this is our digital side hustle club. So this membership program is new in terms of it being in the last 4 months. We opened it up in December. And our whole main focus for this digital side hustle club was to help entrepreneurs get committed and married to a digital product idea and to help them start the process of launching their digital products. And the reason why I keep emphasizing starting and committing to it is that some entrepreneurs or future digital product entrepreneurs, we will go and we will invest thousands of dollars, which ain't nothing wrong with it. I did it, right? But we don't know if we're really committed to what it takes to launch and keep up and launch and launch and launch a digital product. Because it's not just launching it one time and just hoping that people will just drop in your store. You have to continuously market a evergreen product. Evergreen is on sale all the time. So a lot of them are noticing that it takes a lot more, even when they're a therapist, for example, than getting one client. They signed on with you and now they're in therapy with you for a year and you ain't got to market to them ever again outside of new clients. Like digital products ain't like that. Once you sell it, you got to go find some more clients, right? So with that said, Ms. Whitehead, she said, good morning. I wanted to share last week's wins and recaps. So I've decided to switch gears after evaluating my current capacity workload. I need to free up my time, which is largely why I'm here, because she wants another stream of income to probably take up some time so she can decrease somewhere else, right? I've decided to revamp an existing journal to incorporate much of the attachment work I focus on in group. Coming to this conclusion is a win for me because I've been paralyzed with uncertainty and making a decision. We should have bolded that right there. We should have made that hot pink. Let me say that again. Sometimes you're not moving in your business or the needle is not moving simply because someone can get paralyzed and become uncertain about making a decision. I can raise my hand on that, right? All of us have been there. Some of us are there now. So again, it's not the strategy, it's not the course, it's not the membership. Sometimes it's us. And the faster you get to acknowledging that you are part of the problem, the faster you will see results in terms of you developing whatever product you want to create to then test it out in the marketplace. Then she said, this week I will finalize my timeline and publish my landing page. And so one of the things that we talk about in this particular program is set the date. Now I want you to go back into the portal, rewatch, if you did it once, rewatch phase 1 of a launch. And I want you to identify what types of things you want to do in your launch. And the purpose of our then community calls is for me to actually just bring everything to life, because I don't believe that everything needs to be in this particular program documented, because let's be real, nobody wants a core shell. Okay, let's be all the way real. We don't want to watch replays. We don't want to watch pre-recorded videos, but yet here we are in a digital world. So yes, those things are important. But what I would say our programs are structured as, actually all of them, is that there are pre-recorded videos or audios or both in core shells for you to lay the foundation. After you lay the foundation, you review it, you implement it, and then you come to our community calls for the lab. So for those of you who are in our community, let me know if this is an aha moment for you. Your core shell is the lecture to prepare you for the test. And the test is like your project, you putting together your product, your service, whatever the case may be, right? But our coaching calls, our community calls for the Digital Side Hustle Club, look at it as a lab. The only way you're going to know if you're dissecting the frog correctly is if you do it in front of your professor. Speak up. So if you're in the Digital Side Hustle Club, go find her, tag her in Telegram and say, girl, First of all, that picture was fire, right? And then let her know that I am standing here with you. And again, if she said something related to capacity, workload, paralyzation, making the decision, if that is where you are, let her know she wasn't by herself. Okay. So, congratulations. All right. Lastly, Miss Bennett. Mm, we saved her for last. So, Samira, so I just want to highlight, when these students graduate from our programs, I like to give credit where it's due, right? So this is a not just Dope Therapist Academy alumni back from 2020, but she also went into our mastermind about 2 years later. Our mastermind was a 9 to 10 month container. And it was similar to the Scale Academy, in which we focused on various streams of income, but they signed up for a commitment to mastermind with the same group of therapists for 10 months. Not everybody's made to be in that type of commitment, but she was on board. And so I did hashtag clarity because she know I be in her DM like just create a meditation. Like her voice, y'all. If you look her up on Instagram, just snapshot her name. Look her up on Instagram and just listen to her voice. Like I swear, if she did a meditation, I will probably listen to it every day. She is so calming and she be dropping so many nuggets, right? So one of the reasons why we wanted to highlight her is that I feel like she is a very good example, similar to how we talked about Miss Asterisk, about how community members show up and not just get things for themselves, but also tap in and check in with what's happening with other people. So one of the things that our team noticed about her involvement, particularly in March, is that she took fast action from our coaching calls, our community calls. Anytime she's in any program with me, she's very clear on whatever she's working on, her goals. I love and our team loves that she creates community engagement. She ain't shy to ask a question. She will ask questions to get what she is looking for, as I mentioned earlier. She does come to coaching calls to get direct coaching. She will raise her hand or put something in the chat box and say, I'm not shy. I have a question. I love it. Right now, these are the things that I just added on that I just want to instill this like hope to anyone who may be, let's just say, a service provider. She's an LCSW and she is now a financial prosper planner. I had to get the words right. I had to go on her Instagram. I'm like, girl, go ahead and find your gift, right? So she's doing things with finances. But one of the things I wanted to highlight, because she had been in our mastermind before and they got bonuses in our academy a long time ago related to certain things, is that she has already launched a physical book. Now, when she launched her book, I'm talking to my Digital Side Hustle Club people and anyone else who wants to launch a book. One of the things that I love that she got help with, because she spoke up, is she said, I want to have a launch, but I know you typically talk about doing it in person. Can you help us do it online? And I was like, you looking at the queen of boot camps? So we can take the same philosophy, the same systems, and then tell me what you want, and I'm going to help you craft it. She got other people to help her with this. I think it was on Zoom, like a virtual book party, had balloons and everything. It was like featured on Instagram or something, but it was pretty cool. I saw pictures of it and I was just so ecstatic for her, because you took something that's physical and you put it in the digital world, right? So go and give her kudos, because a lot of people in the program don't even know that she got a physical book, right? So she has a book. She had a virtual launch party, and she is a mental health provider. She's an LCSW, and now she's a financial prosper planner. Okay, get your finances in order, mental health providers. And so connect with her. Again, she's a DTA alumni, but she's also in the Digital Side Hustle Club community. So go tag her and show her some love as well. Well, and look at her sweater. Okay, my mental health over other people's opinions. I mean, our community be smashing like with just looks. Okay. So, all right. So, as we wrap up, let me just recap the podcast episodes that y'all definitely want to check out, because I dropped a hitter today. Okay. So, starting from 411, we have really been tailoring our content around the mindset, because I'm starting to notice. I mean, I've been noticing it, but I'm starting to speak up about a pattern that I've been noticing for years, where therapists will be on my Facebook ads, they will be in my DM, like, where's the workbook? Do I get live coaching? Do I get one-on-one coaching? And I'm like, yo, I put something out on Instagram this week and said, none of your courses or coaching is going to mean anything. It's actually void if you're not implementing it. And one of the reasons why we may not be implementing what we're learning is because, as one of our students said, you can get paralyzed in your mind. But yet we out here as service providers healing other people with their paralyzed mind. Go figure. It's always easier to sit on the other side of the couch. And so with that said, you're going to see a turn, up leveling of mindset stuff. The psychologist part of me is going to come out as like business therapy. That's what we're calling it, for starting in the second quarter. So we did some episodes around, I shared what has been happening in my digital product launches, or like lessons learned is what I really focus on with storytelling, because I feel like my audience, our community, you can definitely resonate when somebody else talking about something. It's like a reality TV show versus me just asking you a whole lot of questions about your business. You may realize what's happening in your business or what's not happening by listening to someone else's story, right? We also talked about pricing tips. So if you have any questions about pricing tips, it's an audio podcast and a YouTube video. If you are new here, please subscribe to my channel. I forgot to say that in the beginning. I love y'all. Like this video, right? 414 is 5 things that can go wrong during a launch and how to pivot. So I really did that for my digital creator community, because sometimes we get paralyzed when things don't work out exactly how they're supposed to. And every result is a result. If you got 0 sales, if you got 0 email leads, 0 was still a number. The last time I checked, when my son was learning how to count to 10, 0 is still a number. And 0 will tell you a lot about how you are or are not showing up to the marketplace, right? Or who you're attracting. 416, and 417 is really about me catching up with my community. I feel like my podcast listeners, y'all are my Wi-Fi BFFs. People on YouTube are my Wi-Fi BFFs. Sometimes I want to show my face. Sometimes I don't, especially when I'm going deep and being more vulnerable. So don't sleep on the audio podcast, because some episodes will not make it to YouTube. I'll just leave it at that. All right. Also, we closed out a very epic private practice bootcamp, and we welcome some awesome private practice therapists to our Dope Therapist Academy program. And so I want to say welcome to all those new students. They are going to be welcomed into our first coaching call for the second quarter next Monday. And of course, the replays will be available, and alumni are welcome to come back as well. Lastly is digital products. So if you are interested in the Digital Side Hustle Club, you want to explore what it would be like for you to take, let's just say if you're a provider, a healer, a service provider, because that is one area that we really hone in on, is that if you already have a gift clearly that you're doing in your practices at your job, I am sure if you look even in your Canva deck or in your cell phone, you have something that is of value to someone else, right? Now, you do have to test out the market, but if you want a supportive community, you definitely want to check out our Digital Side Hustle Club. Enrollment is open, and this is a good time to get in because we do have a call next Thursday. So you would be able to get in, get into the portal, get into our Telegram group, get acclimated, go through the very, very simple material and start writing down your questions. That way, when we come next week, because we're talking about automation per some students' requests, then we will be able to answer any questions that you have. Also, what was launched in terms of digital product, let's just say you are the current or future digital creator where you really just want to understand digital entrepreneurship. You rather have a course. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't have a club as well for live support, but let's just say you're in a place where you're like, you know what, I just want to go through something at my pace. I want to learn how to show up on different platforms on social media. I want to understand how to share my story online. I want to share how I want to, learn how to show up in the digital market space through various marketing. I want to understand Kajabi, just like you want to build an actual digital product business. Okay. But you want to understand it as a business, not as a stream. That is the difference. Okay. Then whether you're in Digital Side Hustle Club or not, you definitely want to check out my collaboration with another program I call it the Abundant Create Her. That's like our name, in collaboration with Roadmap. And that is also now open. That is self-paced. And I am collaborating, affiliating with that program because I've loved the things that I've learned and implemented in our company from that business. Okay. So if you want to access those resources, hold on for a second. If you want to access those resources, then what I would encourage you to do, go over to drtk.com/links. Let me just put it on the screen. If you're on Instagram, it is the exact same link in my bio. But if you are interested in the Digital Side Hustle Club, it's also in the show notes. You can sign up there. If you are interested in the creator course, just go to this link. That's also in the show notes. And anything that we ever have coming up, especially around private practice, because right now we just closed out a cohort. So our team debriefs, onboards our students. We do take time to service those students, and then we will open up enrollment again. It's open up throughout the year, but the one thing that I will say is if you choose to delay your abundance because you're like, oh, I'll just get it in next time. Oh, I'll just get it in next time. You're going to look up and it's going to be 2025. You're going to look up and you sat on being able to invest in yourself and honestly go through a learning curve to then be able to implement. And for some people, that can take a while. So if you want to take your time and you want to get in there and create a foundational method for your private practice, then don't sleep on the DTA program, because we have put hundreds of students through that program. And a lot of our students have went on to grow, to then scale their business to other streams of income, such as the Therapist Scale Academy, and also some students who are in our Digital Side Hustle Club, along with our previous mastermind. Okay. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this live newsletter for the month of April 2024. We will be back at the same time. What are we on? The first Tuesday in May. We're going to highlight the month of April. So we always reflect back. If you are a student or if you join one of these programs, make sure that you participate when we ask you, what are your wins? What are your aha moments? What questions do you have? Because our team is taking notes and we want to give credit where credit is due. So I want to thank every single student who's been a part of all of our communities. I want to thank you for being present on our video live stream newsletter. I so much appreciate you. And I will see you on Instagram, see you in a program, or see you right here on the podcast. All right. Have a great day. Bye.